tried to record in my car all winter. It's so fucking cold out here, and it just sucks. I'm ready for it to be done.
It is the last week. Welcome back to the podcast. Week 18, fellas. We made it. We made it through the whole year. And Matt, we've been MIA since what, week 6? Trevor, I don't know how far you made it. You made it pretty far, but there is 7 individuals left. One is completely undefeated still. Good old Mary something. I got the email from Kenny. I can't remember who it is, but if she wins out this week, she's going to take home $1,091 by herself.
Good for her.
Yeah, right? What do you think she'll buy? Something cool, I hope.
I don't know. I can send my Venmo request if she's interested in spreading the wealth.
We should. And then there are 7 other individuals, my dad being one of them. If he survives, I think he's going with the Bengals this week, and we'll get into all that jazz. And Mary whatever, I should know her name. That's going to be a bad look on the last week of the podcast, how prepared I am. They can split that much money between however many people are surviving. So that'd be kind of cool. We'd get a couple beers when we're out there. Hopefully he'd be nice and hook us up.
It's Mary Grace.
Mary Grace. There we go. Mary Grace. Sorry about that, Mary Grace. I know you've been listening for 18 weeks, and we're the ones that got you through everything, we would like to say, but we'll see.
And she listened to us to know who not to pick.
Maybe.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I would say so. Let's jump right into it, fellas. First, Matt gave us a quick little text message earlier today saying he has a story he would like to share with us. So we're going to open up week 18 with a story from our very own Matt. Go ahead, buddy. What do you got to share with us?
So you want me to start the podcast hot instead of ending hot? Okay.
I think we're going to start hot. We're going to start hot.
Well, this is good. This is good for me personally, spiritually, emotionally, maybe even a little bit physically, to just get this off my chest, because it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2025. So I kind of thought, after this incident happened to me just a matter of hours ago, this literally happened to me right before we started recording, it's good for me to leave this behind. And it might be me leaving the entire establishment known as Costco behind as well. So, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's when our Costco opens up here in lovely Rochester, Minnesota. What time do my son and I arrive to Costco, you ask?
Right
Go
away.
ahead and ask.
When do you arrive, Matt?
10:03. 3 minutes after, because I thought in my stupid monkey brain that, man, there are people still working today, and it's 3 minutes after that. We should be fine. I pulled into that parking lot. There was not a cart available inside.
What?
That's how packed the parking lot was. There were no carts available. However, somebody leaves a cart in the middle of the little vestibule thing. So I'm carrying all these bags, reusable bags, because you have to use them when you go to Costco for a bunch of different stuff. And I'm holding my son, and we start walking over to the shopping cart. I'm literally about to put the bags in the cart and Harrison in the little seat. And there is just a couple that takes the thing right in front of me. They just take the cart.
Oh.
And I stand there, and I'm just bewildered. And they just act like I was not even going for that cart, even though I had him up on my shoulder like I was about to place him. And they just walked past me. And literally, I was not the only one who noticed this, because there's someone that came in from the parking lot with a cart and said, "Did they just take that cart from you?" And I was like, yes, they did. I guess it wasn't technically my cart, but yes, they did just take that. And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they gave me the cart.
You didn't bring your labor maker to Costco and label that before you got in it?
No. Did I follow these people that took my cart in Costco for about 15 minutes? I did.
I love that.
I did.
I love that.
Not in pursuit of vengeance. No. I was not going to take my revenge on New Year's Eve with my son while the sun is still out in the sky at 10 o'clock in the morning in a Costco. Sorry, 10:05 at that point, probably. I wasn't going to take my revenge, which probably would have been, a beatdown or something like that. They were probably our age, I would say, that took my cart, so even more anger towards them.
You
so
just
anyways, we get all of our...
following behind them, clipping their ankles every time they turn a corner?
Just watching them closely to see if any loose items from a top shelf that maybe weigh 80 to 100 pounds fall off, and just strike them down. You know, if there was a God, that would happen, but we don't need to debate religion on this podcast. I know Trevor has a lot of thoughts on that kind of stuff, so we'll just keep it moot for right now. But just to double down on this, so again, I end my pursuit because nothing's going to happen. They're going to leave Costco safe. And we're, again, just continuing my shopping experience, whatever. And if people have not been in a Costco, and I have complained about this on previous episodes, including one where I literally just got my Costco membership and I asked, what the hell is people's problems in that place? Like, there's like a gas leak that makes people turn into turkeys and they just like put their heads up to the sky and forget how to walk around and like can't understand what it means to like be a normal human person and like look both ways before you just take out that tank of a cart into the middle of a walkway when there is, and I'm not kidding you, 300 people in this Costco.
That's unreal.
It is butts to nuts in that place of people and all of their fucking family members with them to go and buy a bunch of stuff. Sorry for the F-bomb so early. You're going to have to put the E on this one. Anyways, I got hit by not one cart in my ankle. I got hit by three separate families. Three separate families. It's unreal what happens at Costco. It's unreal.
This is
stuff
that would only happen to you.
My ankle is like throbbing. I had to take ibuprofen like immediately when we got back home.
Oh my gosh.
I just sat down and I'm like, this day is almost a wash. I need to go to bed. Like I literally went there because we had to get diapers, and guess what? This is why we can't get rid of our Costco membership. Diapers are 180 diapers for $40. It's an incredible deal. Like, it's the only place that we freaking buy them.
It's a great deal.
It was just that and a couple other things. It drives me absolutely insane. That place is just for the worst humans of the worst. Like, it was designed by Mussolini, Hitler, and Gaddafi all together. They were like, how do we torture people inside of a convenience store while also providing them like 14,000 nuts for $17 or some ridiculous crap. And also you can get a 10-pack of pants for $100. Like, it's just an asinine place. It's where people should go to die. I think if you like eating the food there, you're probably a monster as well. Like, I hate that place. I will leave this grievance behind, and in like 3 months or 4 months or whenever I need to get diapers again, Sam will have to go. That is my end of my rant. I'm leaving it here in 2025. When 2026 rolls over, this will be completely forgotten except for my throbbing ankle, likely.
Oh, man, I love it. Well, I hope all your visits to Costco, if you continue to go better next year in 2026.
They're not a sponsor. We don't have to be nice to them. Fuck them. Sam's Club, hit us up.
Hey, that'd be something. Trevor, do you have anything to add, or do we jump right into Week 17 recap?
No, my only comment would make Matt more furious.
Ooh.
Do it. I'm leaving my anger in 2025. You might as well.
He's turning over a new leaf.
Well, I'm not saying that it is the case. This is purely a question, and it's probably not the case. But is it possible that those guys thought you were taking Harrison out of the cart?
Yeah, I guess.
Fair
two
point.
Blind people, if they walk. Yeah, two blind people walking up. Maybe they would have thought that. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
That's
Two-
dark.
two like of the stupidest aliens that have ever existed in the entire universe, beaming down to Rochester, Minnesota today, walking into that place. They would have assumed that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm here for it. That is a amazing way to intro into a Week 17 recap and getting into all the nitty gritty of what's going on heading into the playoffs. That's an 11-minute intro. I love it. Matt, do you feel better?
Not really. Like
Okay.
I kind of feel like I need to find where Mr. Costco lives and just give him a piece of my mind.
We might have to put a blooper reel on the end of this one. If you go off in any more tangents, we might have to put them at the end with a disclaimer.
No, I'm just gonna have to like catch my breath over here. That's all. That's all.
All righty, let's jump into a Week 17 recaps. 80 points were scored on Sunday night between the 49ers and the Bears. That was an absolute Wild West shootout. What was going on there?
Well, I think it's this trend that I'm noticing in the NFL this season of like terrific offenses, like offenses that can put up points, amazing skill players, great quarterback play, great play calling, and then just the biggest pile of crap defenses you've ever seen. Like, I don't know about you guys. I don't take the 49ers or the Bears seriously going into playoffs with that kind of defensive play.
It was bad. It was ugly. Like, you would think their defense would be a little bit better at this point in the game, or they were just like, screw it, let's see how many points we can score. Trev, you got anything?
I mean, you're saying there was a trend in the NFL, but there's the opposite as well. I mean, we have the Browns, I guess,
Yes.
and Denver. But the 49ers, I think I would take semi-seriously just because they've been there, done that. The Bears, though, no, I think they're a first round.
I would agree with all that. I would totally agree. As it has been all season, the Eagles score only 13 points in the first half and somehow beat the Bills. What's going on with the Bills? What's going on with the Eagles? How are they looking going into the playoffs?
Split.
Yeah,
That's a very good one, Trev.
I was gonna say, Trevor, that's the perfect soundbite for both of these teams. Do you like watching either of these teams play football, especially over the last? I mean, the Eagles all season, we've talked about it all season, but the Bills over like the last month in particular have been just awful.
The early Bills were fun to watch. Whatever's happening now is scary. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, the Eagles, they only had 190 yards of offense in that game, and they ended up winning. It was up 13-0 at the end of the first half, and then they just did nothing. Jalen Hurts barely had over 100 yards passing, and this is the crap that they do, and this is why I hate to say it. You got to take them seriously as a Super Bowl contender, and I bet we're going to watch one of the worst Super Bowls of our lifetimes with the Eagles raising the trophy again. I'm very nervous about it.
13-12. All field goals. Well, that's impossible, but close to all field goals. The Browns hold off the Steelers to keep the AFC North interesting. What's going on with Myles Garrett? I don't think he had a sack. He has an opportunity maybe this week if he's playing. You can fill me in on that, Matt, if you got more information there. But that Steelers-Ravens game coming up this week now has some big implications, right?
Yeah, so if the Steelers just would have won that game against the Browns, they would have won the AFC North.
Okay.
This would have been over. This wouldn't have been a big game at all between them this week. But, of course, the Steelers can't beat Shedeur Sanders and the Browns, which, as Trevor pointed out earlier, are the reverse of the 49ers and the Bears, where they have just a remarkable defense and just a terrible offense. The Browns won 13-9. Like, it's just ridiculous. Aaron Rodgers is just ass. I know they didn't have DK Metcalf in that game, but still, that is just absolutely ridiculous. But no, Myles Garrett didn't get a sack record because Aaron Rodgers throws the ball within like a half of a second.
True.
Garrett sits at 22, so he just needs one more. So the sack record for a season is 22.5, which is shared by Michael Strahan and TJ Watt. Just one more, Myles Garrett, one more. I mean, this guy right now, this guy is minus 20,000 to be the defensive player of the year. So it's not like the sack will change anything for those kind of odds, but it would be just awesome to see him get the record.
What do you got, Trev?
I mean, they're playing the Bengals. I think their record should be very doable.
Snoop Huntley and the Ravens win the battle of the backups, putting up 42 points on Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers. What went on there, Matt?
The Packers very similarly to the Bills actually have just gone into a giant tailspin in this last month. And I know Jordan Love has been hurt, but Malik Willis has been a serviceable quarterback for them, even though I don't think he's actually capable of completing a pass past 20 yards. The Packers have the 7th seed locked up, so I don't think they really care. And that's all thanks to the Vikings beating the Lions on Christmas Day. You're welcome for that. But again, all the Steelers had to do was win, and this would be over. The Ravens won, and now it's a matchup Sunday night. Big game for the AFC North.
Trev, you got anything to add before we get into our quick hitters?
The Packers had a chance at the division, right? Before losing that one?
They did, but they ended up losing to the Bears, which made it a lot more difficult a couple weeks ago, and that tie is just really throwing everything in flux.
Yeah, and the other thing to mention on that game is the Ravens actually doing what they should be doing, running with Derrick Henry and getting some yards.
Yeah, four touchdowns for King Henry in that game. Just absolutely crazy. Everyone who had him in fantasy was just kicking themselves as they were playing for like 8th place.
That is true. All righty, fellas, let's get into some quick hitters playoff edition. Let's talk about the Broncos and the Pats first. They are both 13-3. Take it from there, Matt. What do they have riding on this week, if anything, and what do they look like going into the playoffs?
So this is the race for the number 1 seed in the AFC and the NFC, because it's still up for grabs technically. So the Broncos and Pats are both 13-3. Unfortunately, they didn't play each other this year, so there isn't really a tiebreaker. It's favoring the Broncos. I think it's a strength of schedule thing and just la-di-da-di-da. Those rankings get really confusing. So if the Broncos win, it goes to them regardless if the Pats win. I would say they both have an incentive to win because, one, if you're the 1 seed, you get a bye, so that week off would be wonderful. You also control the playoffs all throughout your side of things. You'll always have the home games. But the number 2 seed has to play the Chargers in the first round. And I know Justin Herbert has a wrist thing, but the Chargers look kind of hot right now. I just wouldn't want to catch them. One unfortunate thing for the Chargers this week is they're sitting Herbert. They're playing the Broncos. So there's a very, very good chance that the Broncos are just going to beat the crap out of them. So it might be a moot point. But that is still up for grabs. In the NFC, San Fran and Seattle have a more complicated route. So Seattle is up 1 win on the 49ers because these two teams played in week 1. Seattle has 1 more win than the 49ers currently.
Mm-hmm.
However, these two teams played each other in week 1, and the 49ers won that matchup. So if the 49ers beat the Seahawks, which they play on Saturday night, the 49ers will be the number 1 seed, which, again, would be awesome. And they mentioned this during the Sunday night game between the Bears. The Super Bowl is being played in San Francisco. So if San Fran can control the number 1 seed, they never have to leave home the entire playoffs, which I don't think has ever been done before and would be awesome.
No, the last time that hype was real was when the good old Vikings had the Super Bowl in Minneapolis, and they were really, really hot, and then Sam Darnold did his stuff. We won't get into that because I don't want to bring any nightmares back to you two. Trevor, Broncos or Pats? Who do you like with a little bit further of a run in the playoffs? Who you like there?
I like the Patriots more, but the Broncos defense they're real. They're good. The other thing to note, though, is the Jaguars actually have a small chance of taking first as well, somehow.
Okay.
That's a really low percent chance, but I would only mention that because we were talking about the 2nd seed playing the Chargers, which the Jaguars actually have a better chance of potentially also taking that 2nd seed. I don't know the exact circumstances that have to happen for that, but that's also a possibility. The other ones could drop down the 3rd.
I like that. And we're going to touch on that on our full-length, end-of-the-season, long-form podcast that we're going to get recorded here in the next couple weeks before these playoffs really start ripping and roaring. Real quick, Matt, who do you like further in the playoffs, Broncos, Pats? And then I'm asking that same question about San Fran and Seattle to both of you. Go ahead.
It makes it a little so I like the Pats a lot more. I've been dubious of the Broncos all year, but there's a little bit of a monkey wrench in the Pats, and it's really not a good one. It's really not one that I find funny or anything like that. So excuse me if my tone is a little bit off, but I had a Costco story where I was quite mad earlier. So Stephon Diggs and Christian Barmore, in separate incidences, are under investigation for assault right now.
Jeez.
That literally came out this week.
Was it at Costco?
Their status for playing on this Sunday is up in the air. And if their court cases progress a little bit, their status throughout this playoffs might be even further up in the air. Christian Barmore, who plays on defense, and Stephon Diggs, obviously a wide receiver, they're critical to the Pats' success. If those two guys can't play because of these legal issues that have literally just come up, that's going to be a massive problem. I still like Drake May a lot more than Bo Nix. I would take the Pats if those two guys are able to play. I feel like San Fran is on an absolute heater, and I've been hurt by Sam Darnold in the past, and I can't trust him with the Seahawks. I can't. It's a big stage. I know they want to beat the Rams on Thursday night a couple weeks ago in one of the best games of the year, but I got to go with Purdy. I got to go with Shanahan. I got to go with Christian McCaffrey, who had probably the best fantasy season of the year out of any player. I gotta stay away from Seattle. I just don't trust them.
Who do you got in that one, Trev? Who do you think?
I'm in the same boat. It's purely Sam Darnold and watching him last year when all the pressure was on playing good teams. Nothing to do with anything else with Seattle. Good defense. Nothing wrong with their offense besides if their QB does collapse. San Francisco, I already mentioned that they've been there. You see it all the time in the NFL, in any sport, really. If you've been there and gone far before, you kind of know what you're doing.
Absolutely love it. Let's get into quick recaps of the AFC North, AFC South, and the NFC South. We are going to touch on this again in a longer form podcast that I hope you guys continue to listen to. When this whole series is done, we've really enjoyed bringing this to you. It's a fun excuse to get together and banter about Costco and figure other stuff out in life. So thank you very much, and we do appreciate it. So let's get into the AFC North. Matt, what do we got? Ravens and Steelers.
Well, we've kind of touched on this a little bit in the games that were up at the top in that recap. Basically, it's a win and in, and I don't personally trust the Steelers. The Ravens, I mean, if they stick to their game plan of giving it to Derrick Henry, I would say it doesn't look like Lamar Jackson is going to be able to play, so it's going to be Snoop Huntley again. I got to take the Ravens in this matchup. I don't trust the Steelers.
Trev?
Are we talking purely to just this game?
Yeah, Steelers, Ravens. Yeah,
winning into the playoffs.
DK Metcalf is also out. I'm right. He's serving that 2-game suspension, or yep, that's what I thought.
He's still suspended for hitting that Detroit Lions fan.
Yep.
I personally have no idea what to expect from that game. That is one of the ones that I would have mentioned as don't even glance at that game if you're still picking teams here. I don't know. I think the Steelers show up occasionally. The Ravens also, even with their good players in. I know that they've had lots of injuries, but even when we've seen the stars in the game, it's been so inconsistent for both of them.
Gotcha. Trev's up in the air. I love it. AFC South, both the Jags and the Texans are making the playoffs. You did hear that right. The Jags and the Texans are both making the playoffs. Where are you at there, Matt?
So this one is a little. I feel like everybody's going to take the Jags. They're not playing each other this week, which makes it a little more difficult, especially with the Jags. They're playing the Titans, which has been everybody's favorite pick against this entire year to survive this pool. It's just to see who's actually going to win the division more than anything else. Texans are red hot. Jags are red hot. I just think it's a much easier path for the Jags to get there rather than the Texans. You may actually want to lose in Week 18 between one of those two teams, because if you are the 5 seed, you get to play the winner of the Steelers-Ravens. Just going to throw that out there.
Trev?
Yeah, I didn't think the Jaguars were that good, and then they just kept winning. So I do think the Texans' defense is awesome. I'm kind of leaning Texans, but like we just talked about, the Jaguars are probably going to win it just because I think they play the Titans this week, if I remember right.
Yep.
So there's that.
Gotcha. NFC South. Do either of you guys truly care about the NFC South? Go ahead, Matt.
No, their division should be evaporated from this earth. It is
relegation.
Awful. The relegation. That's right. Let's drop some teams down. Let's make them, or at least break up the division, because it's just terrible. The Bucks are terrible. The Panthers are they're just piss poor. They're projected as a 5 seed. Or the projected 5 seed is the Rams. So whoever wins gets to play them, which lovely, wonderful. Both of these teams beat the Rams this year, which is fascinating, but that was a while ago. It's just been terrible. It's clear Baker's hurt. A lot of the Bucs players are hurt. Their defense is just really sad, and Todd Bowles is just an absolute shizer of a coach. And if you trust Bryce Young to lead your team, as the Carolina Panthers do, that guy throws for more sub 100 games than anybody else in the league. And honestly, I think Max Brosmer could play better than him.
Love it. I'm going with the Panthers because they got a cooler color combination. What do you got, Trev?
just by color combination. Great.
Yep.
I think the Buccaneers are another one of those teams that we talked about earlier where it's like the beginning of the season is just so promising and whatever. I mean, there was also injuries for this team, but they've fallen apart to the point. I also might lean Panthers just because the Buccaneers are just off the rails.
And these two teams play each other on Saturday. So it's a win and in. So whoever wins between that matchup, they're going to win the division and they're going to be the number 4 seed in the NFC.
And they're going to lose.
We were so in love with the Bucs this year, man.
Yeah, we were. We were high on the Bucs this year. High on the Bucs. I might even said Baker for MVP, like really early. Whoops.
I think multiple people did.
Wowzers. Most teams picked this week were the Bengals at 4. Steelers had 2 individuals pick them, and they lost. 2 people picked the Cowboys. One person picked the Rams. The Packers were also picked. They lost. The Bucs were picked, and they lost. And the Broncos were picked, and they won. So if I'm doing my math right, we have about 7 people left. Mary Grace, congratulations. You're going to be getting paid out. Are you going to take all of the money, or are you going to be taking part of that money if she can survive another week? Last week of the NFL season, here are the matchups. Let's get into them. Week 18, Saturday, we have 2 games. We got the Panthers over the Bucs. We got Seahawks, San Francisco, and then we're jumping right into Sunday. Colts, Texans, Browns, Bengals, Saints, Falcons, Packers, Vikings, Titans, Jags, Cowboys, Giants, Cardinals, Rams, Chiefs, Raiders, Washington, Commanders against the Eagles, Dolphins, Patriots, Lions, Bears, Chargers, Broncos, Jets, Bills. And on Sunday night, we have the Ravens against the Steelers for the division. Where are we at this week, fellas? I don't know if it really matters too much. I don't know if we can even look at what people have left to pick. I don't know if the app is that fancy, but who are you picking? Who are you staying away from? And who are you on the fence with when it comes to week 18? Let's go on the fence first. Take it away, Matt.
So I know we just talked about Jags Titans, and I know maybe people haven't picked the Jags this year, or maybe they got on top of them for the win streak. So that's, this might not be the best example, but the Titans have nothing to lose here. And if the Jags notice that the Texans aren't playing that well or whatever, there's absolutely a chance that they might just whatever. We don't really need this. We're cool with being the 5 seed and going to play Baltimore or Pittsburgh or whatever. The Titans are interviewing. They are auditioning for a spot on the roster next year. If your name is not Cam Ward or Jeffrey Simmons, you are expendable. You might not come back. You got to play your butts off because the coaching staff is going to be gone, but the front office will probably stay. You got to try. So maybe, just maybe, the Titans make it at least interesting and push the Jags.
Trev?
I was also on the fence about a team that is potential number 1, but I was going with the Patriots. I think they should win this week against the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have been kind of one of those teams that just beat someone good every now and then. So I get a little nervous on that game.
Yeah. My mindset going into week 18, I would be nervous with all the games, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the end of the year. Some of these teams are already locked in. Some of these teams are fighting for something. So, but it all comes down to who you picked earlier in the year in this whole pool. It's like, are you set up to pick a team that is going to play a lot of their players and going to potentially win? So I don't know. Week 18, it hasn't gone this far, I don't think, in the last 2-3 years. So usually we're not here talking about, hey, what team are you going to pick at the end of the year to hopefully get paid out? So I would be really look into who's playing and who's starting and all that good stuff. Are they playing at home, playing away, all that stuff. So that's my 2 cents. Matt, who are you staying away from?
If people have made it this far, including Papa P, I know Papa P is going to listen, so just listen to me, Papa P. Do not pick the Raiders. Don't do it.
He didn't.
Don't do it. He didn't?
I know his pick. He's going with the Bengals over the Browns.
Okay, good. Because I know that the Raiders are in full tank mode.
Yep.
They have literally announced their star players were on they moved them to the IR last week with mysterious injuries that all of those players have since disputed. They lost 34-10 against the Giants in a very critical matchup to make sure that they maintain the first overall pick so they can get Mendoza in the draft. They will absolutely go belly up against Chris I can't even say his name. The Chiefs quarterback, whoever is last there on Sunday. Do not trust the Raiders. Do not trust them, okay?
I would agree with you, Matt. I'm right there with you. I think both those teams are in absolute shambles. What got me was they told Crosby that he had a knee injury. And hey, you're going to have a knee injury. And then 2 days later, he's out posting videos of him in his gym in his house and shooting layups and doing Euro steps and jumping on trampoline with his kids. I'm like, yes, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Trev, who do you got?
I do agree with that game. And then the other obvious one, as we already talked about it, but the Ravens-Steelers was what I had written down. I don't know who you'd pick in that, but don't pick either.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Who are you going with if you made it this far and you are throwing all your marbles in on one team to win a lot of money, Matt?
I know I've talked some crap about them at the top. It's not Costco necessarily, but
good.
The Bears. I would take the Bears over the Lions. The Lions are completely broken right now. That Christmas Day game was something special for the record books that I think everybody in the Lions front office should reconsider all of their stances and what they believe in for this team going forward. The Bears are playing for seeding still. And I think this really does mean something. Dropping that game to the 49ers still puts stuff in a little bit of flux. If they can hold on to the 2 seed, then they get this banged-up Packers team. If they lose and they drop down, they might have to play the 49ers or the Seahawks in the first round or the Rams. I wouldn't want that personally. So the Bears, I feel like they got to play everybody. The Lions are ready to go to Mexico, ready to go to the Bahamas, ready to get out of there to enjoy a nice vacation. I think the Bears are a safe pick.
Trev?
That game actually makes me a little bit nervous just because the NFC North tends to win games that has no benefit for them at all.
Yeah.
But if I had gotten to this point, I would have actually had the Jaguars available and the Bills available, and those are the two that I was thinking. I think for this week, I would lean. I don't know how the Jaguars can lose this, honestly. Even if they're trying to lose it, I don't know how they lose it. So I'd lean Jaguars probably.
I would agree. Jags-Titans. I don't know how many people jumped on the Jags train early, and it's a good time to throw that pick out there to potentially get a share of the pool. So there it is. Happy New Year's to both of you guys, and hope your 2026 is a lot better at Costco than it was today, Matt. We'll be thinking about you, and I'll let you know of Sam's Club. But if Costco comes calling and they're throwing stuff at us, I'm assuming you're going to lean that way a little bit.
I'll take back everything that I said as long as they actually do something about the navel gazers that walk around our Costco. I don't care about the other ones around the country. Just take care of the ones in Rochester, Minnesota.
Perfect. You heard it here first. Thank you so much for tuning in all 18 weeks. We are glad that we were able to bring this little fun series to you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and continue to tune into the podcast. Click that bell. You'll get notifications of when everything drops. And we're going to be looking to bring 1 to 2 long-form podcasts a month to you guys, talking about the NFL, talking about playoffs, talking about basketball, and whatever else hits our brains that we want to talk about. So until then, good luck. Peace.